So we are a lithium-ion battery life cycle company dedicated to the cause of circular economy. We are a global company. We have presence in India, US, and Europe. We have an office in one of our co-founders sits out of DC, and we are setting up facilities. We're in the process of setting up facilities around the globe. We have three main business lines. We make new battery packs. We don't make cells yet. Cells, as with any other battery pack maker in India, are imported from China or from one of these other countries like Japan and Korea. And this is the one business line. And we typically make battery packs for two-wheeler, three-wheeler applications and for stationary storage applications, which includes residential, commercial, and industrial storage. The other business line that we have, which we think is going to be a much bigger business line than the new battery business, is the second life business, wherein we handle batteries at the end of their lives. So typically what you see is a battery that was used in, say, a very high powered application like a Tesla, even if it cannot fulfill the requirements of a Tesla, is still very good for relatively lower powered applications. In fact, you can put a Tesla battery in a rickshaw and it will work fine for years to go. And so that is an interesting problem, and it helps in a lot of ways. One, it it amortizes the initial cost of production of battery over a longer period of time. So it reduces the average emissions. Two, it reduces emissions further because recycling, although it's pretty environmentally friendly, still has some sort of emissions. So you reduce the emissions required in recycling. And from a cost perspective, it's much more efficient because you don't have to do a lot. You don't have to manufacture batteries, or you don't have to essentially add new components to it. So it becomes a very efficient process economically as well. But it's not an easy process. You can't just use a battery somewhere else because, as you know, there are a lot of safety issues. So this is essentially a data problem. So there is a lot of interesting data science work here. How do you, given a battery at the end of life and given some data, can you build a model or an algorithm to allocate these batteries to the right second life application? So that is one aspect, one interesting opportunity here. The other is around, I would say, business development or sales. How do you create demand for this? How do you get people to realize that second life batteries could be as good as first life batteries and come at a very discounted price? And third would be around marketing or PR. How do you make people aware of the fact that these batteries can last very long and get put them on the same pedestal as a new battery or first life battery, as we call it. So yeah, in the opportunity section, communication is definitely an area that I forgot to mention, but it is something that people who are good at communication should look at getting into. And so coming back to Lohum, the third business line that we have is the recycling business. So we recycle batteries to extract the chemicals back out of them and then put them back into the cell manufacturing supply chain. And we are probably the largest recyclers in India. I don't know any large recyclers, although people like Tata are getting in, but I'm not sure how efficient they are. And by virtue of this, we might even be the largest nickel producer in the country because India doesn't have any nickel producing capability. So, addressing some of those supply chain issues or geopolitical issues, how do we get hold of nickel and cobalt in India when we don't have reserves for them, and do that in a sustainable way? Recycling is a very good way to do that. So once you have some batteries into the system, you can just keep reusing them, reusing the material instead of having to dig the earth again and again to extract the material. So these are essentially the three business lines that we are in, and obviously aligned with this, there are a bunch of other things we do because obviously it involves financing, supply chain, and marketing, business development, a bunch of different things that are required to aid this. But the idea is that we want to bring in a circular economy, complete circular economy around to the battery world. That is what we are working at. If you look at this chart, you can understand the entire circular economy bit that I'm talking about. So yeah, this is it. And any questions? So would love to take them. And by the way, I'll put some reading links. I'll share a reading list over here. So, and I'll share the deck post the call as well, so you can read about things in more detail if you're so interested.
Guys, do we have any live questions? I think we had a raised hand. Rishikesh, you've been waiting for a while. Do you want to go first?
Yeah.